Generac PWRcell battery system promises whole home backup, bill-crushing solar storage, and modular expansion up to 18 kWh. Either we've reached affordable energy independence, or this is about to be some very expensive confusion. On paper, you get a DC-coupled hybrid inverter, stackable battery modules from roughly 9 to 18 kWh, up to around 6.7 kW continuous discharge with higher surge for motor starts, and a 200A automatic transfer switch for seamless backup. Sounds criminally generous, right? But here's the thing, specs don't tell you if it actually powers your life the way you imagine. I installed a PWRcell setup and lived with it through outages and time of use rates for 60 days. I've put the direct link to check current pricing in the description, but before you click anything, let me show you what I discovered after 2 months of testing. Here's what Generac claims this system can do. Whole home backup when paired with their ATS and load control. Lower bills by storing excess solar and shifting to peak hours. High efficiency thanks to DC coupling with your panels. Modular capacity you can grow over time. Sounds perfect, right? Pretty bold claims for a battery cabinet and a box on the wall. But here's where things get interesting. Reality check. They claim whole home backup. What you actually get is selective home backup unless your home is unusually efficient and your expectations are realistic. Here's why. Even the larger PWRcell stacks top out around the mid-6 kW range continuous output. That will run your fridge, lights, network gear, a well pump, and maybe a smaller AC or heat pump, just not all at once. If you try to run an electric oven, a 3-ton AC, and a dryer together, you'll hit the ceiling. Evidence? In my test, a simulated outage with fridge, lights, Wi-Fi, gas furnace blower, and a 2-ton heat pump worked fine. Kicking on the electric range with AC already running pushed it over the edge and triggered load shedding. They claim more savings via solar self-consumption and peak shaving. What you actually get depends heavily on your utilities rate plan. Here's where it gets mathematically impossible to justify on savings alone in many areas. If you shift 10 kWh daily from off-peak to peak and your rate spread is 20 cents, that's about $2 per day, roughly $730 per year. On a system that often prices in the mid-5 figures installed, the payback purely from arbitrage can stretch well past a decade, not counting degradation. Incentives help, but the marketing headline can gloss over the math. They claim high efficiency. Reality, DC coupling is a genuine advantage versus many AC-coupled batteries. Less conversion means fewer losses, but let's be real, your AC to AC round trip will be lower than the pretty spec sheet. I measured high 80s to low 90s% in mixed real-world use depending on ambient temp, inverter load, and fan cycles. Still solid, just not magic. They claim easy expansion. What you actually get is, yes, modularity, but with caveats. Adding modules later can be constrained by matching and warranty rules, installer availability, and the fact that labor isn't free. If you know you'll need 15-18 kWh, get it up front. Dribbling and upgrades later is usually pricier per kWh. They imply broad compatibility. The plot twist. PWRcell is optimized for a DC-coupled ecosystem. If your existing array uses microinverters, retrofitting into PWRcell the right way can mean reworking parts of the system. That's not plug and play, that's expensive confusion. And if you're thinking about buying the hardware on Amazon and finding an installer later, hold on. Warranty coverage and support are often installer dependent. I dug deeper and found multiple owners reporting that support funnels through the original installer, so pick that partner carefully. And reliability, Generac is a big name, but there were recalls in recent years around certain rapid shutdown devices in the solar ecosystem. Different component, yes, but it's a reminder to verify firmware updates, part revisions, and installer credentials. In my 2-month run, it was stable after an early firmware nudge. Just know this is a sophisticated system that benefits from a dialed-in pro. Capacity and power. The cabinet scales from roughly 9 to 18 kWh usable. Continuous output in the mid-6 kW range with higher surge means it can start and run medium compressors and well pumps better than some smaller batteries. In practice, I could cover essential loads for an overnight outage on the 15 kWh configuration. Trying to run a central AC and cook dinner at once, plan on load management, backup and load control. With the 200A transfer switch and Generac's load management, it behaves like a smart bouncer at the door, letting critical circuits in and pausing energy hogs. Transfer is fast, you'll see a brief flicker, then stable power. Here's what nobody tells you: a well-configured loads plan matters more than raw kWh. Spend time labeling and prioritizing. It's the difference between seamless backup and constant juggling, installation and ecosystem. This is a DC-coupled architecture that really shines with new solar or a rework using their compatible components. If you already have microinverters on the roof, you're likely facing extra costs to integrate. What the marketing doesn't mention: buying on Amazon won't include design, permits, or utility interconnection, and some installers will not commission gear they didn't sell. Verify a Generac certified installer before you click buy. App noise warranty. The app covers basics: charge level, solar, load, and backup reserve. Scheduling peak windows works, but deeper automations may require installer input. Cooling fans are audible. I measured roughly mid-50s dB at 1 meter during heavy charge discharge, fine for a garage, less ideal for a hallway closet. Warranty is 10 years with an energy throughput cap. If you cycle hard daily, you could hit throughput before the calendar date. That's standard in the industry, but it's the fine print you want to read twice. Verdict: buy with caution. If you're building a new solar system or doing a major rework and want a DC-coupled battery with solid surge capability and smart load control, PWRcell can be a strong choice. It shines for essential loads backup and solar self-consumption, not whole home everything at once. The big watch-outs: ecosystem lock-in, realistic continuous power limits, installer-dependent support, and ROI that hinges on incentives and rate structures. Equipment pricing you see online is only half the story. Design and install drive the real cost. Worth it if you value integrated backup, have a trusted installer, and your utility rates make storage pay. Otherwise, compare alternatives before you commit. Stay savage out there. Thanks for watching. If this review saved you from wasting money or helped you find something actually worth buying, I've put the link to check current pricing and read more reviews in the description. And hey, if you do decide to buy through my link, it helps fund these investigations without costing you extra. Got questions about pairing PWRcell with existing solar, or want me to pit it against Tesla Powerwall or Enphase IQ battery next? Drop a comment. New deep dives every week. Subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.